Brewers Log September 21st, 2023. So tonight I finally got around to racking the 4 gallons of pyment that I had sitting down here that I originally started on June 29th of 2024. So they've been into a problem in the fact that at least two of these had almost nothing written on them. I'm not sure if the light is enough to show anything on these, but this phase two at least had information. This one here, now let's see if I can tell it. So this one here, the right there, is the Great Value mead, or the Great Value Concord grape with heather in it, and it started out at an 1 point or 11 and 36. This one is a Welch's is Concord grape with heather, and it started out as 1132. So I know these two were using Premier Blanc and Premier Cuvée. So that one was easier to figure out based on the original video. These two, the only difference between them is one had heather and one did not. So the one that did not was easy to pick out. It was the one that started out as an originally a 1020, I believe. It may have been even a 1010, so it was not nearly as high. Okay, so it was easier to line up with the original one, and this one would have been the other one. This one should have been using EC 1118, so it should have I would have expected it to gone drier than what like these two did, but that was not the case. And this time, this one went all the way down to, let's see if I can read it on the bottle anymore. So this one went down to a 1040. This one also went down to a 1040, whereas this one went down to a 1060, and this one went down to a 1060. So they didn't go out as dry as I would like, but they all came out all right. So Great Value still had the harsh flavors to it that the original one did. So I'm not expecting that one to be a very great one to begin with. So we'll see what we end up doing with that. It may still get drunk, but it's not going to be one of the ones we're going to go for. This one, and because it was a little drier, it was a little more harsh. It was more like a red wine. So in some ways, I liked it better because it wasn't as sweet, but it's still a little sweeter than I would prefer it to be. These two came out actually fairly nice. The sweetness it was very nice. You got a little bit of floral with the one that had the heather, but it was not overpowering, or it just gave you that little bit of hint that something was different about it. So these two came out fairly well. We're probably going to carbonate one of these two in the new keg that I've got, and we'll see where we go from there. But so at least I got these racked, and I decided I better record as much as I can about them now that I've figured out some of the information. I wrote what I could on the bottles, but it's because it's the Concord Grape Mead, it doesn't show up very well. And I don't know if I ended up wiping off some of this stuff, the permanent marker, or whether I just didn't even mark these at all. One of them didn't look like it had anything on it. The other one had shadows of stuff, whereas these two actually were very clear on what they were. But as soon as I started washing them, a lot of the ink came off and I had to redo it all over again. But at least I recorded what it was before, or could see what it was from beforehand and was able to redo it. So that's why I decided I better put it on video. That way I have it again and I can go back to what I found out on them. So hopefully, I'm gonna see where they go from here. They were bubbling a little bit right after I racked them and put them up, but now they're not bubbling at all. So we'll see where they're at in a day or two, and I may cold crash them and see where I go from there. So, as I said, the first two are had very good flavor and mouthfeel to them. So, I think that's going to be the direction we're going to head with some of this, but I really don't know if that's what I'm going to do. So we'll see after they're cold crashed, and maybe we'll see what they're like when they're carbonated. Good night.